I was born in Gujranwala. It's a small city near Lahore in Punjab, Pakistan, which is the middle of the country. I grew up mostly in Lahore, which is the cultural heartland of Pakistan. And my childhood was very happy, surrounded by family, a lot of cousins, a lot of aunts, uncles, grandparents, and it was wonderful to grow up in that environment. I had a natural affinity towards math and science, and so I decided to pursue medical school. But then beyond medical school, when I saw what I would be doing next, I wasn't very clear if Pakistan was the right place for me. And that's when I decided that I would perhaps pursue another master's degree in biostats and epidemiology, and then learn the research skills and perhaps be in a place where there's more research opportunities. I thought about different countries around the world, and really the United States stands out because the opportunities here are unparalleled. I remember it being a very active decision that I would go to the United States. I applied for a student visa. I took lots of exams to get into top-notch schools. I was admitted into Johns Hopkins School of Public Health. So I went from Lahore in Pakistan. I first arrived in New Jersey, and then essentially stayed in Baltimore for the next few years as I completed a master's and did some postdoctoral work. Everything seemed, the air was very crisp. I remember noticing how clean everything looked. The trees, the plants, the buildings, the roads, everything was so clean and neat and orderly. But what was also challenging was not having done any of these things before, not having a credit history in this country, not having immediate family members available for help, and if you fell ill or having nobody to fall back upon. So from Johns Hopkins, I went to State University of New York in Buffalo, New York, and did internal medicine there. And then from there, I went to Atlanta in Georgia at Emory University and did advanced training in gastroenterology. From there, I was looking for opportunities where I would be able to combine the newly learned skills I had, be able to practice in a teaching setting, and that's what brought me to University of Minnesota. And I've been here ever since. The challenges, of course, are that not being a US citizen, you can't apply for federal grants. They're somewhat restricted to US citizens. So you have to be very creative in how you navigate your way in able to do what you really want to do. I found Minnesota to be very, very responsive and open to immigrants and new ideas. This was the only place where when I said, people would ask me, where are you from? It's a pretty typical question when they first meet you, and I would say Pakistan, and they would say, what city in Pakistan? And this was the only place where people would ask me that. So people here pride themselves for being very educated, very literate, and I felt assimilating here was not difficult at all. And the other thing is also not being discouraged with rejection. There's plenty of rejection. And I didn't know the word grit when I first started, but now and when I first heard the word, I completely understand what it means. So essentially, it's perseverance in the face of failure or rejection. And when one door closes, you have to keep knocking till more doors open. I've made a wonderful life in Minnesota. I've been very fortunate. My husband is also a physician. We have 3 young children, ages 7, 5, and 2. I work full-time, and my work is divided into about 1/3 time being a clinician, 1/3 time being a researcher, and 1/3 time being an educator in the medical school and the university. I'm researching colon cancer and trying to understand how we can prevent colon cancer. So I find that work very fulfilling. I have many grants now, federal grants, almost about $10 million worth of grants, and a whole research lab and staff that works very closely with me. So it's very gratifying work. So I feel we can contribute wherever we are in meaningful ways. I feel I can do that through research. So my research is aimed at understanding how colon cancer develops and creating strategies to prevent colon cancer. I speak at national and international meetings, again, disseminating the information we have so we can move the field forward together. and essentially being a role model for young women in STEM in particular, and encouraging them to kind of follow your passion and don't be discouraged by rejections.